This was our first family trip abroad, so I was definitely a bit stressed. Will it be fun for everyone? Is it gonna be difficult for our kid to sit sometimes long times in the car? However, once we made it from snowy Finland to Italy, all the stress was gone. We arrived here early in this morning. We are in a region called Sassetta at the moment, looking for a restaurant, which isn't always the easiest in the countryside of Italy. We chose our first night stay kinda randomly as we wanted to get a bit deeper on the countryside of Tuscany. The location might not have been the most ideal for a family with small kid, but this place turned out to be really nice. Even the weather was not on our side. Good morning from the middle of nowhere. The closest restaurant is like 7-8 kilometers away. Closest supermarket 20 kilometers away. So it's not much other than the nature and the beautiful scenery, which is definitely enough, but definitely brings some challenges when traveling with kids. Luckily our daughter is so easygoing, so at least this time. So she was really okay just driving around a lot and everything. Oh my, look at that. Look at that. What a morning. The sun rays are just unbelievable. And the mist rolling over the water. Doesn't get really better than this. It's good to be in the middle of nowhere in Italy. After enjoying the best breakfast of the whole trip, it was time to drive again. We stopped for a lunch and some grocery shopping in a random city called Arcidosso. Italia. From Arcidosso it was just a short way to Piancastagnaio, where we had booked absolutely epic place to stay for 3 nights. Onko lämmintä vettä? Isi kokeileekaan. Quite warm. So we have just arrived to one of the most epic Airbnbs we have ever stayed, for sure. Look at this place. It's like we are staying in a castle. Absolutely ridiculous.
Wow.
Wow, onko niin lämmin?
Yo, it's hot even.
Oho. Yo, this is very warm.
Wow.
This will be awesome. Look at this view. So It was truly a special experience just to stay in this amazing building. The history of the whole place began already 800 years ago. Piancastagnaio is a town in 772 meters altitude. The weather was changing constantly, as it often happens in higher altitudes. It's a quiet town that has not that much to do, however, you have everything needed, including playgrounds for the kids. One of our top destinations for this trip was the Cascate del Mulino hot springs, and that's where we headed next. Luckily it was a really nice weather. This is the most touristic place we are visiting so far. It is a bit confusing to find the entrance, but yeah, I'm sure we'll find it soon. All the signs are in Italian, not so clear at all. Let's see which way. So the first try was not so successful, but we go back to the car and try to correct parking, I think. Now we know how to get there. Found the correct way. Parking is 2.50 euros per hour. Raining again, raining again. There's actually no entrance fee to this place. And okay, here they are. Actually, the water is really warm. Really warm. Oh, is it?
Yes.
At the end, we couldn't really enjoy the hot springs that much as our girl was not so comfortable there. Anyways, it was definitely a special place worth visiting. The good thing of having a rental car is you can just stop anywhere, and on the way to the hot springs we saw this nice restaurant, and now we came back and soon we're gonna eat there. Just have to wait when their lunchtime starts. A lot of different.
Oh, I would love
The
to.
other side, I think.
Love to eat this.
So I think this town is something called Sempre or Semprino, or is it Sempre? Siempre?
Semproniano.
Semproniano? Yeah, something like that. Just a random town here in Tuscany. Seems lovely. The town is called Semproniano, and our feeling of this restaurant was absolutely right. It was the best meal of our whole trip. Such a cozy and lovely restaurant with great service and absolutely delicious pastas. Also, the tiramisu was the best ever.
Oh, so good. Oh, so creamy.
Good morning. So today we'll be leaving Piancastagnaio and the countryside of Tuscany and drive to Pisa. On the way we will stop by in Siena, which is like halfway between Piancastagnaio and Pisa. So Siena is a good stop. Of course, we don't have much time there. At least see a glimpse of Siena on the way, and once we get out of the countryside and into the city, it will be much easier to eat out. In Italy, many restaurants close up like at 2 p.m. and then they open up like very late in the evening for dinner. But I think in Pisa there will be much more restaurants open, so it will be easier for a family with a little kid to have the restaurants open all the time. No problems here in the countryside either. Our girl Selena has been doing so well. She's a natural born traveler. See you soon in Siena. Let's go. Found a parking in Siena. It's a big parking hall here. Now we go see the city together a little bit. Siena was the biggest city so far on this trip, and it has a lot to see. We had a lunch at the square and a nice but a bit tough walk around this hilly city. And of course it was raining, just like every day on this trip. Then we continued to Pisa, where we returned our car. Pisa is extremely touristic city and not very interesting, to be honest. The tower was leaning, well, even more than I thought, and that's about it. Anyways, Pisa is a great place to stay and do day trips by train. The next day we took around 15-minute train ride to Livorno. Livorno is a pretty big port city with a population around 150,000. It was so great to get to the sea. At first we are going to Aquarium. After we had seen enough of the fish, it was time to put them in our mouth. So we tried to go to this famous market here in Livorno, but it was closed because today is like Liberation Day of Italy and a lot of places are closed today. But then we just came to eat now and gonna have a seafood feast. It was absolutely beautiful. Got my favorite calamari too, battered and fried to perfection. The last day of our trip, we took a train to Florence, the largest city of Tuscany. Our main target was to visit the Mercato Centrale, the central market of Florence. This market is absolutely awesome. You'll find lots of local produce to buy. Wine tasting in the market. Pretty cool. It's very, very light. Yeah, maybe this one. We bought a couple of wine bottles, olive oil and balsamic vinegar. Selena's just having some pasta and I got the lampredotto,
which is a cow stomach sandwich.
very soft, a little bit spicy also, and very neutral flavor.
Before leaving, we also tried the Florentine steak, a nice, thick, rare T-bone steak.
Is 1.4.
Heavily charred from the outside and red from the inside, washed down with a nice Chianti. Although we enjoyed our visits to Florence and Livorno, it was the small towns and random villages in the countryside that really made our trip special. Most importantly, it was a very memorable trip to our kid. Our first family trip was a success.